Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the show, I am your host, East Rashid. My boy on the other side of the panel there, football analyst, basketball analyst extraordinaire. You see, I'm getting very hyped up over there, man. He likes that introduction right there. Barry,
man. What's the deal, boys and girls?
Right. As we can see with the title on screen there, Jason Kidd actually withdraws himself from the Lakers
from the Portland job,
coaching vacancy position there. And should he actually should the Lakers actually take out Frank Vogel and put Jason Kidd there as the next head coach? And is he to blame in a sense, though, for the Lakers' off season? I mean, their early playoff.
Postseason, first early playoff exit. Yes. Well, you and I don't look at it differently on this, but I'm for one to know that the coaches usually at the end of the day, even if he was, dealt a bad hand, he usually always catch the blame regardless. So my answer to it is, yeah, he's going to take the blame for it. But you didn't have your star players either because they were injured. And the rest of the team was subpar at best, didn't step up, didn't do anything to help out. And that could be attributed to Rob Pelinka. That could be attributed to, the boss herself. We don't know. But at the end of the day, Vogel's going to catch the heat over this. And Jay Kidd.
You blame the coach there, man. Definitely.
Yeah. And Jay Kidd, in many ways or not, is being groomed for the job. He is. So, does he take over next year? The answer is probably going to be no, because they're going to have to let Vogel do his thing. But I tell you, they get knocked out next year. It's an early exit next year. Or they don't make the playoffs. Ooh. Did we dare say that? They don't make the playoffs next year?
No. With a fully healthy LeBron, they'll make the playoffs. It's just how deep will they actually go? And like I didn't like I'm not gonna blame Frank Vogel on this because I'm looking at Rob Pelinka and LeBron James because LeBron actually has to give his seal of approval on this over here, man. If you look at the last year, but in the bubble, they got a 4-month break. I didn't like the roster back then. Even back then, they were banged up. They didn't have enough horses in a sense, though. I said last year I didn't think the Lakers were going to actually win the title because you didn't really have shooters in a sense, though, like real true knockdown 3-point shooters. Except for like maybe Contavious Caldwell Pope, but he's a streaky shooter. I don't look at him as. Yeah, Kuzma, he's been abysmal. He's been disappearing. Yeah. So I didn't like the roster last year, and then they played the actual Miami Heat, who got swept in the first round over here, man.
Yeah, this is the thing when it comes down to basketball. It's such a great sport, especially when you have the right motivator and you have an owner that understands the game of basketball, not just the business, but the game itself, and say, hey, I can get you the right players. I can get the right coach to help coach them up, to help motivate them and things of that nature. Vogel's not in that category now, is he? Vogel was handed LeBron James. He was handed AD. And then he was handed this.
Well, when he was in Indiana, I think they would have went to the finals that year had LeBron hadn't been in the way. I think that's really the problem over there. If you look at other players, let's say in the Jordan days, Michael Jordan was in the way of Karl Malone and John Stockton in a sense, though.
So you're saying basically it's too commercialized in LA and a lot of pressure to deliver, and that might be over Vogel's head right now. Maybe that may be the reason.
Like I said before, it's the roster, man. Can you say that Anthony Davis is a top 10 player in this league?
You say he's not. I can say right now, talent-wise, he's in the top 10, but I don't question that. I question his durability because that is starting to take shape now. His durability is taking shape. And LeBron, we know he's a freak of nature, but guess what? For all the times undefeated and for all the times knocking on LeBron's door, all right, we know why LeBron's in LA. He got other things out there he want to get his hands on. So it's probably fair to say next year it's probably that year LeBron's going to go for broke because after next year, do you think LeBron's going to still be there? I want to go out and say no. So the bottom line is next year's the year for broke. If you know this, is Vogel the guy to lead you? Or do you make a quick change in the offseason and say, you know what? We're going to go with J. Kidd. Can J. Kidd motivate these guys? Can J. Kidd put these guys in a better position to be successful? Is there another player out there that they can pick up at the latest, the trading deadline, that will help them go forward? These are questions that's going to have to be answered in LA right away. But as we know right now, J. Kidd, he was being pushed out there in Portland by his boy Damian Lillard. He turned it down because obviously that wasn't the situation he wanted to be in. I don't think it's just that. You got to be
like Phil Jackson. I mean, Phil Jackson is not going to, in his prime days, I mean, he wasn't going to come to just any type of situation, except for the Knicks with that money grab in a sense, though. But like in terms of his coaching, he has to actually make sure the pieces are actually in place to really win. I mean, when you actually go for a job, I mean, do you want and you have bills to pay? Do you really want to go to a startup company, or do you actually want to go to something that's established? And it's one thing if you don't have a choice, if you're just like entry-level position in a sense, though. I'm not sure if that's the right metaphoric analogy or not. But
no, I understand when you're going with it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But, I guess at this point in time, you don't want to get into a rebuild concept right now. And most players don't. Most coaches don't either. But then, remember we talked about on our previous shows, who out there right now from the player standpoint can rescue you? Who is out there free agent-wise? Who is? And that's the thing. There's really no strong star player out there that can help you turn things around. So it might feel.
I don't know why. I mean, Portland is just like in the Pacific Northwest. It's a nice city, I'm hearing. But
and the organization's first class, bro. They're first class personified over there in Portland. You don't hear nothing negative in Portland,
loyal, man. Yeah, because Terry Stotts. I mean, like I said, Damian Lillard. I mean, listen, I love Lillard, but I mean, he has to look at himself in a sense. The shots he takes, those shots from the logo. I mean, you could make a lot of those, but those are really bad shots. And
yeah, Steph Curry's doing them. Steph is doing them.
Drain you, man. It's going to drain you. You're not going to have the legs to make those type of shots in a playoff series, man, because he has to do a lot of the work, man.
The bottom line,
he's going against the point guard, which is the hardest position in basketball. He has to go against
well, that's why you're pulling up for them jump shots, bro. If I'm going to work hard on defense, I'm not going to work hard on offense either. That's how I'm prolonging myself. I mean, that's what the jump shot game is right now. And he can shoot the rock from anywhere on the floor. The thing is, his commitment to the team. They're a first-class organization. You never hear anything bad coming out of Portland. Never hear anything bad come out of Portland. They just go out there, play basketball, and they're always relevant. They're always in the postseason. Nothing is wrong in Portland. So
yeah, but I mean, as basketball players are human beings too. Just like I wouldn't want to live in Montana, or me personally, I don't like Los Angeles because for a lot of different reasons. Maybe a lot of players just don't like Portland. I guess if you're a family guy, you have a family, maybe Portland is nice. But if you're single, Portland is not nice. Los Angeles is the place to be. Or New York is the place to be.
Yeah, so, advertising, marketing, all that stuff.
Situations, in a sense, though. Most of these guys aren't family guys, in a sense, though. Well, not I would say most of them, but a good chunk.
I just don't know that. When we talk about J.K., I just don't know if that was his motivation. I think his closeness and his friendliness with Dame Lillard is honorable and it's understandable. But it wasn't enough to get J. Kidd over there. I mean, the moment his name was mentioned from Dame's mouth, the next day, it was like, no, thank you so much. I appreciate it, but I'm going to stay here in L.A. And you and I both know why. Because he's going to eventually get that job. But J. Kidd can get that job, but I don't see LeBron and AD being there forever either. So I'm looking at this thing moving forward like a game of chess the next year or two. Where the Lakers are going to be. Where's J. Kidd going to be? Where Portland going to be? This is a lot of questions to be answered, but I think J. Kidd made the right decision for him. I'm happy for him. We're going to see how this thing play out next season. To be continued.
Oh, yeah. All right. We'll definitely wrap this video up. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Certainly share this video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. If not, Eric will donate up to 5 paychecks, man. Up to
no. Rashid's gonna do that. He's a rich man right now.
Like he share, man.
Yeah, he's a rich man right now. My man's doing it, boy. He's making the money. You know what I'm saying? He's a heavy hitter. Don't worry about that. All right, guys. Peace.
All right, peace out.